everyone, and welcome to another episode of Girl You Know What, the podcast. I am your host, Tahir.
And I'm Keisha.
And girl, we are on episode 9, season 2 already.
Child, it's rolling.
It's rolling. And I mean, we got a lot to say.
Shows is rolling. Life is rolling.
Life is
rolling.
Girl, it is rolling. Okay, so.
And we're going to jump right in.
We're just going to jump right in. And the first thing I want to.
Y'all been with all the bullshit this
all
week.
the bullshit. We ain't got time for formalities and all that other stuff, you know. We're just going to jump right in. So the first thing I want to talk about, and it's something kind of fun, you know, to loosen it up or whatever, but I'm just going to spend a couple minutes on this. And if you watch the BET Awards, you know, my girl Taraji P. Henson, who I adore, she watched it. I mean, she hosted it. I'm sorry. And was she the host? Because she was there for a while. Was she the actual host, or did they just have her up a lot? Because I wasn't really.
So they kicked Tisha and the other girl off? Did they used to host it?
That's the Soul Train Awards.
Child, I can't get the two straight. Okay, so
the only reason why I know is because I haven't really watched.
I think.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, the only reason why I know the difference is because I've been watching the Soul Train Awards, but I stopped watching the BET Awards. Like, I watch it like on the repeat. This was the first year, probably in about 4 or 5 years, that I watched it live.
Oh, you actually watched the show?
Yeah. But you know, she's alumnus of Howard University. You know, one of our most prestigious HBCUs, of course. You know, has a lot of history, a lot of famous alumni, or even just people who just attended, you know, Howard, it's like Howard, Morehouse, and Spelman. And even back in the day, like, I know a lot of people always talked about Grambling. They don't really talk about Grambling anymore. You don't really hear too much. Yeah, Tuskegee, schools like that.
Even Bethune-Cookman, like, those
were the ones, like, when those sweatshirts and stuff came out in the 90s. Those were the ones that everybody had. They had Howard, they had Morehouse.
Oh yeah, Bart's sister went to Grambling, and I felt like,
oh my goodness, like somebody actually went to Grambling.
And she went to Grambling with like Erykah Badu.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god.
That's why I'm like really shocked. People don't really talk about.
She is probably the reason I know I was going to a HBCU.
Listen, one of them between people who I knew, like in my family and friends, and a different world. That's where my focus was eventually getting into one. Yeah. But so Howard, you know, when people think of HBCUs, Howard is one of the ones that a lot of people think about. Okay.
And so you know what Howard say, they the real HU.
And they're not. So let's just start right there. So I am a alumni of I'm about to say the wrong one. I'm getting so excited. Of Hampton University, the illustrious Hampton University Pirates in Hampton, Virginia. And we're pretty close in proximity. Not really. We're actually closer to Norfolk State than Hampton. And Norfolk is actually our rival.
Yes.
But when it comes to both of the H's, because people think that, you know, the DMV area, Hampton is further like northeast than so it's not as close to DC.
Howard is in DC.
Howard is in DC, and I mean it's
Hampton is in Virginia.
DC. Exactly. But because there's been this rivalry over the years, but let's just put it all to rest right now, and I'm just going to say what I got to say. Hampton is the real HU. We are the first ones. We have the biggest enrollment. We have a bigger college. We're not in the ghetto. We're close to the ghetto, but we're not in the ghetto. But I love y'all Howard, though, because I wanted to go to Howard. I was just scared to apply. I'm not going to lie. I was scared to apply.
Oh, yeah, that was one of those places that, I mean, so I think PWIs talk about prestigious universities.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time hearing a Black person say that, HBCUs don't have, like, there are not prestigious HBCUs. And I was thinking, like, you're sad parents. Your parents are really sad that even lead you down that road.
Right.
But I think Howard was like one of the places that was like, oh God, no, do not, like, you can't get in.
Right.
Like, even if you think your grades are good enough, even if you think you can come here, you can't get in.
You can't get
so
in.
The same way about Spelman.
Right.
I think the same way about Morehouse. There are some HBCUs that you know, I can't. You can't get in there.
Exactly.
In there. Like it's almost like a club.
Right.
People don't know how you talked about Hampton. You know, that is for the more prestigious, you know, Black people.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Giselle, Bryant, went to Hampton.
Mm-hmm.
That was for more of the like snooty tooties.
Yeah.
You know, Howard had people from everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah. Because more people, I mean, I'm just going to keep it real. More people knew about Howard because of where it's
Yes.
located. And, I mean, it's just like,
Hampton was almost like for the elite.
Right. And, and I'm not going to lie, it wasn't until probably about our junior year in high school that I first really started looking into Hampton, as somewhere.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I applied and got in, but I ended up going to community college first because I was just nervous and I was scared to move away and all that, just typical stuff, which I wish I would have went originally. Yeah, but shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but.
So something else I saw, now that you brought this up.
Go ahead.
Because Puffy got and we call him Puffy on this side of the street.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Young whippersnappers probably call him Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
That's Puffy.
That's always going to be Puffy. Yeah, especially since because Faith still calls him Puff. So yeah, he's always going to be Puffy to me. Yeah,
that's Puff.
Yeah.
So Puffy got an award, and he gave some money to Howard. And he gave some money to Jackson State.
Right.
And the internet lost their minds.
I mean, of course.
It's more HBCUs than just y'all. And I went under somebody's comment and said it. Y'all act like that's where he went to school.
He went to Howard.
He's doing what he didn't. I don't know. Did they ever give him a degree?
I think he got an honorary degree.
Doctorate or something from them.
But he actually attended, even before the honorary degree years later, he actually attended. And the only reason why he left is because he got in the record business.
Right. So that's his school. I'll call him. He has a doctorate degree from there, like an honorary doctorate degree from them.
Right.
So he would be considered an alumni, I guess.
Yeah. When you get an honorary, yeah.
That's what he's supposed to do. You're supposed to give back to the university that you attended.
Right.
What he did is not wrong. And I don't understand why people had their panties in such a bunch about it. He did exactly what he was set out to do. And then he gave some money to Jackson State. Listen, that's the number one rule when you go to HBCU or PWI. You are building relationships. He has a relationship with Deion Sanders.
Yep.
So, of course, if I see my friend over here doing a good thing, some of you niggas need to learn this.
That part.
When you see your friend over here doing a great thing, you're supposed to feed into that. You're supposed to invest in that.
Right. And
you don't just clap. Right. If you got the money to help, you help.
And I heard a lot of people, like I saw like a lot of the same comments that you did. We probably on the same sites and everything or same pages.
Yeah.
But like, some people were actually arguing, like for it. Of course, most of these Negroes are going to be against it, of course, just because that's what y'all do.
Yeah.
But when it came to people actually, they were like, well, why is he giving money to Jackson State? He didn't attend Jackson State and everything. And I did some people say that him and Deion Sanders are friends, but also you have to remember, Jackson State is still a HBCU. It's still a smaller school.
And it's struggling.
It's getting all this talent in there, and they're trying to move to the next level. They're trying to be up there. Deion Sanders is trying to build this program to where they can compete with these bigger schools.
Don't see, he's not just, if people need to get onto YouTube and watch that, I think it's 5 seasons or 5, about how he is building not just the football program. He is giving to the girls' cheerleading team.
Listen.
He is giving to the girls' basketball team. He's trying to build each program up. Did you see the practice field when they got there?
I mean, and that's what people don't look at that stuff. They don't look at that.
Like, y'all, next, all of you alumni who went to Morris Brown, it's time for y'all to pop back up and help them get back to where they were.
Listen.
Because that stadium looks horrible.
Terrible.
They're going to have to build that school back up.
Girl, I rode by our high school cutting through the other day, and our high school's kind of in the cut, so you cut through that street or whatever. Girl, I looked at the football field and I was like, well, dang, this looks better than, I mean, it didn't look no different from really we went there, but I'm like, y'all are keeping up with the off-season high school football field, and y'all can't keep up with these college football fields.
Exactly.
Yeah, they need help. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
But see, because sometimes, it's one thing that I learned from Liberty University.
Mm-hmm.
Liberty University hounds, not Lord, that wasn't a good word. They are persistent
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to alumni giving.
Mm-hmm.
And I think HBCUs, and for some reason, Black people are not comfortable when we have to talk about money.
Right.
We need to be comfortable. I don't care if you give $5. If you received an education at that school, give back.
Yes.
Keep giving back until your donation can get to the place where you should try to make a $5 or $10 contribution every month. If you
Mm-hmm.
want to set that aside, and at the end of the year in December, send in your contribution,
Mm-hmm.
or ask the alumni office, what month do you prefer to receive financial contributions?
Right.
Because some people run off of a fiscal calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So what month do you prefer to receive, for our financial donations? Find out. I don't care if it's $5 or $10. Give
Just
something back to
something.
your school.
Yeah, because I mean, we didn't talk about this because we hadn't really talked about HBCUs in a while. But speaking of that, there are HBCUs that are out here struggling. They're losing accreditation, and one in Chicago, I can't remember the name of it. I don't know if it was Lincoln or something. I don't want to get it wrong, but there's an
Mm-hmm.
HBCU in Chicago that has been open forever. I mean, for years, and they had to close down. And they reached out to alumni. They tried to do everything they could. They did fundraisers and everything like that, but they just recently had to close down. And they have a
Mm-hmm.
student body there.
Yeah,
So,
like that's
yeah,
terrible.
it's terrible. No
We've got to
school.
get comfortable with giving back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Y'all complain about tithing to the church. You should tithe your 10% to your HBCU then.
Mm-hmm. Right. Something.
Me and Ronnie just had a conversation about tithing and
Mm-hmm.
giving 10% because I don't know if people missed it, but Creflo Dollar came out and said he broke down tithing,
Mm-hmm.
broke down how you should be giving your tithes. He said, and really flat out came and said, you don't have to it don't have to be 10%.
Mm-hmm.
He said, when I get something wrong and I'm going to say it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you don't have to give your 10%. You can tithe in other ways. So look, that right there, give your 10% to your school.
Exactly. And like, I give to the alumni association every year, and I'm not banking, like these other alumni are who can give tens of thousands of dollars or whatever, or
Mm-hmm.
the one that recently paid off the student loans for the past two graduating classes, I think, or something like
Right.
that. I can't do nothing like that, but I can give what I can give, and it's something
Mm-hmm.
because that school did so much more for me. And not only that, I mean, it's my I'm an alumni, so it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, and I can understand, like, I have friends who went to like Ohio State and like these bigger schools, OU even, and they're just like, I just don't feel comfortable giving to those schools because they have, like, people who can give millions of dollars and things like that, and they're just constantly building around, and everything, and I'm just like, I get it. So it's almost like,
Mm-hmm.
but if you see a school is struggling and they're not getting what they deserve, then yeah, I
Why
mean,
y'all hustled all that PPP money? Y'all should have been setting up them LLCs and them trusts so you could have gave some money back to some schools so you could have donated it. Then the
mm,
government might not have been on your back so hard.
mm,
Give
mm,
some of it away. Set up a nonprofit organization
something,
where you set up a scholarship fund
yeah,
for the HBCU you went to. If you feel like you don't have it financially, set up a nonprofit organization
and that goes
that
other
you're
ways,
going
like,
to give scholarship money to African American students who go to this particular HBCU.
and like you said, that falls back into what Creflo Dollar said, is that just
Yeah,
find other ways to tithe. It don't have to be
yeah,
you actually giving financial money. What I
yeah.
mean? Giving
Find
something
another way.
financial. Yeah, you can help other ways.
We do everything for everybody else.
Hmm.
Because let me tell you something. The way these white folks got this shit set up, we gonna need to figure out some ways to start helping each other.
Listen, y'all gonna have to get over yourselves. Seriously.
Listen,
Ciao. Whew.
honey. because the Supreme Court is in there
Mm.
having their way with the people.
And didn't we just say last week that just y'all were just focused on Roe versus Wade? They have done so many things before the overturning of Roe versus Wade, and still to this
Uh,
day they have not been this busy in years, and it's scary.
I just stand back, see what
See
color
what
should go put
color?
on the walls,
That's
because
it.
this shit crazy.
It is. It really
So
is.
I have to just say this brief about Jalen Walker.
Okay.
Jalen Walker is a 25-year-old man who was shot by Akron police
Mm-hmm.
early Monday morning. Police say that he fled a traffic stop and his body is set to be released by the examiner's office on Sunday, July the 3rd. He was murdered by Akron police. They shot at him 90 times. I just,
I mean,
okay.
90 times. And of course, he was unarmed. We don't usually have to say that, but yeah, he was unarmed, just for those of you who would be
And
like, well,
so
what
then,
did he
but I want to
do?
do say this: he had a gun in his car, and while
Mm,
they're sitting there telling it on the news, and we're watching it, I said, I don't care if the gun was on the moon; it wasn't on his person.
exactly. Y'all were in no way being threatened to shoot at somebody 90 times. And then they say like 60 of them hit him.
And it was like, did they say it was 9 officers?
Something like that.
So I have a question, and I really wish I could write police policy
Mm-hmm.
because I just have a question
Please.
about. I'm gonna bring up two things because I'm gonna talk about the Uvalde shooting too.
Mm-hmm.
First, when it's 9 of y'all out there with your guns drawn, I mean, y'all don't got some kind of code where you say whoever arrived here first,
Mm-hmm.
whoever the point was, they shoot.
Right.
Because and then once the other 8 of y'all heard the first person shoot, why exactly did the other 8 of you shoot?
Hmm.
At what point does that become excessive? And no disrespect to Jalen's family, but at what point does it become wasteful?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of bullets.
That's a lot of bullets for one person.
Ammunition, I feel like the price of ammunition is probably just as high as everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Why exactly is it appropriate to waste that many bullets?
Because it's killing a black man.
But where's the oversight committee in any of this? Who is the fiscal responsible person at the police department?
Right.
Like, so after all this shit is over, nobody's gonna look at them and say, for one man, you spent $3,000 in bullets. I don't. The math would not be mathing for
It's not
me if I
mathing at
was in
all.
charge.
It's not mathing at all. But let's say this. So there was a speaking of that, I'm trying to see if I get the right city. Okay, so I'm just going to read what the meme said, and this ties into what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
A police chief from a Detroit suburb, Detroit, mind you,
Mm-hmm.
asked for forgiveness because he trains his officers to shoot using only black men's images as target practices.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I
And
saw that news.
this was discovered by Boy Scouts visiting the department headquarters. So
Yep.
imagine how this choice has socialized those officers.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, when that's all you're, and then I'm going to go back and say, like I always say, because it is what it is. This is the reason why the police were formed. It
Mm-hmm.
was formed during slavery
Mm-hmm.
to protect the white people and to
Mm-hmm.
police, basically, pretty much kill black people who got out of line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
because
for
they
that
basically were
mentality.
policing themselves.
Yeah,
And when emancipation happened, it's like it's too many niggas running around free.
right, exactly. And that's how they
And
still
we
feel.
outnumbered them at that
Mm-hmm.
time.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now that we're free and they don't have any actual hold over us,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
what we gonna do?
Listen.
But so then Uvalde. Something I
Uh-huh.
noticed about the Uvalde story,
Mm-hmm.
and I brought this up before, that they have a police department within the school system.
Right. I remember you
And now
saying
they're
that.
trying to hold the police chief of the school police department accountable for what happened. And I said, now wait a minute. Anytime I said, I want to know what their mass shooter policy is.
Girl.
Because there's no way that y'all gonna get me to believe that that's not the police department's responsibility, not the school police.
Exactly.
That's not the police department's responsibility. And on top of that, SWAT. If you know that a shooter is barricaded in a school, why would you all leave that in the hands of the school police chief?
Right. Right.
He shouldn't be held accountable for shit but fights.
That's it. And I mean, so okay, a few years back, there was a incident at Ohio State University where this guy, he attacked some students outside of the business college with a knife. And the Ohio State Police, which is a big police department, my grandfather used to work for the Ohio State Police back in the day when he was actually a student at Ohio State, and they've always been big, but they're not trained to handle terrorism type things. They're not they're not trained for that. They had to call Columbus Police in. So if a big college, a huge college, a huge institution like Ohio State University, I'm sorry, the Ohio State University, I'm sorry.
You heard that. You saw that.
Yeah.
Saw what they passed.
They passed that, yeah. The Ohio State University doesn't have the manpower or the experience, the training to handle something like that. What makes you think that a small school district is going to be able to do the same thing?
I'm going to tell you right now, you know, my HBCU was a little hood. It was a little hood. We had a little situation. And we had a real situation. And the fucking sheriff department from Greene County showed up. Our police was out there too from the university.
Oh, they're going to be there. Yeah, they got to be first call.
But the sheriff department from Greene County showed up.
Listen.
And the Xenia police. We don't live in Xenia.
Right. So they had
the
to call
in Xenia. They called everybody.
Yeah, they called everybody because they knew.
And then there would have had the Clark County police there too.
If it wouldn't have got
they had the whole street blocked off. And it was nighttime, and I'm talking about guns drawn, blazing.
Child.
It was a whole situation.
Right.
I'm just saying, I don't understand how that falls on the on the school police.
Exactly. That's just they're seriously just trying to. They know they messed up. They know they messed up. They put all these lives in danger. And it's just like back in, and I'm going to take it back to the first, it wasn't the first shooting, but it was the first biggest fatalities that happened in the school shooting, which was Columbine.
Yeah.
Even all these years, the police are still getting flack because they didn't go into the school, and their reason was, well, it was hard to follow the map of the school. All you had to do was follow the fucking bullets. That's all you had to do. They were shooting up the whole school.
The map of the school.
Yeah, they said they couldn't figure out where to go. And the students
Can you hear? Can all y'all hear?
I mean, and they were mainly just in the library, and then they said that if the one teacher that died, they said that they would have got to him, and they even had a sign up. They could have got a ladder and got up there to get that. They had a sign up in the window saying that the teacher was right there. So they always got an excuse as to when they F up, and it's always somebody. Now it's the
somebody else's fault. Yeah.
It's the engineer and the architect who did the school.
Columbine?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
You know what I heard about Columbine, and I'm not sure if this is true, and I need to look it up.
What's that?
I was watching one of my cop shows, and it was The Closer. And The Closer, one of the guys worked for the FBI, and they were referencing Columbine. And he said, well, Columbine did not go as planned. He said the plan was foiled.
Yeah.
And so they were like, well, how so? He said it was really supposed to be, I think they were supposed to like set fire to the school. Something was supposed to happen in the school that made everybody rush out the school, and they were supposed to shoot everybody as they were coming out.
Yeah, it was those pipe bombs that they set and they didn't detonate.
But the bombs never went off.
Right.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, and they were going to get them while they were running out. So then after the time went by, they had a timer on it and everything. And so don't think that these kids don't know what the heck they're out here doing. And especially this was in 1999 before all this other technology.
And when
And
it didn't
yeah,
detonate, they went inside.
right. They had to go to plan B.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so we
Girl.
talked about Jalen, and so we got to talk about this damn McDonald shit.
Girl, go ahead. So you started off because, girl.
Jesus, I have so many thoughts about this.
And we know y'all seen this because y'all keep reposting the memes that, So
So
anyway.
look, when I seen this, and I had sent it to Danielle, and this is the quote that I text Danielle. This is the first thing that came to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Your inability to practice safe sex is not his responsibility.
Mm.
I don't know who told y'all that. It disturbs me greatly. And what I'm about to say is so wrong and is so controversial. I think I said that word wrong. In this country, this is not how we operate.
Mm.
But we need to pay attention. How come we never look at the people and say, you were irresponsible. You should not have done this. You should not have done that.
Mm.
Because I don't understand why we don't look at her as being the mother and the responsible party of these children and say, he's not responsible for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not his children.
Right.
He is not responsible for the children that you brought into the world. He's
Mm-hmm.
responsible for the kid that he brought into the world with you.
Right.
Now, I will say this, he should have never had a baby by her
That part.
because his kid made baby number 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to also point this out. She said that that man was feeding his baby every day.
Yeah. That's why
She
she
said
was
he
ready
was
to
doing that
record.
every day.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys, let's look at the situation. That dude pulled up in a 2002 fucking Monte Carlo. He ain't
Okay.
got no money.
Right.
He making sure his baby is straight.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't got no money. So for y'all to sit there and act like he did something wrong and saying like, no, I'll be
Mm-mm.
taking care of the baby I got.
Right.
So now look what she just did. Obviously, the other kid's daddy ain't there.
Obviously. Because their baby together is the last
Made the
child.
youngest. It was the
Yeah.
youngest.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, their dad is not there. And
Mm-hmm.
like he said, where is their dad?
Right.
And I just want to point out, he said daddies. I'm being nice,
Mm.
saying dad.
Mm.
Obviously, she got more than one baby daddy.
Right.
From them 3
From the
kids.
other 3, yeah.
They got more than one daddy. And now you gonna sit here and alienate the last man standing. So you about to damage this relationship that your youngest child got with his father.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
He not balling out of control. Like, he's obviously, he didn't have on no gold chains.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wasn't no dude that you would be like, oh, he fresh. He could have bought the other kids. That dude looked like he was just getting by.
Mm-hmm. Looked like he was just getting off of work and he wanted to go feed his baby.
And it wasn't like he had no big meal. That bag was little as hell. It was probably a cheeseburger and a fry.
That's it.
In that bag.
Mm-hmm.
And not no medium fry. A small one.
And he did that because he probably knows them kids aren't eating. She's not feeding them.
Right. If they daddy don't have them other kids, daddy don't have enough sense to feed them, why he need to feed his kid?
Mm-hmm.
But what shocked me the most was to see the women on social media who was like, oh, that's petty, and he this and he that. And so now I'm starting to look like, are you bitches just like her?
Mm-hmm.
That is the part that scared me the most.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about her reasoning real quick for her doing it. So, of course, she got her ass on there trying to justify what she did. And she kept repeating over and over again. And I just started laughing after she said it that, okay, she let it be known that their child together is the last one. So she already had,
child, yes.
Right, the youngest one. So she was saying while we were dating, you would buy all the kids food, me food, everything like that. So why, basically she's asking, why aren't you still doing this? You just said it. Y'all aren't together anymore.
I did what I did for your other kids,
Exactly.
not my kids.
Right.
I did what I did for your other kids out of care and consideration for you.
Mm-hmm.
once my relationship with you severed, and listen, I went underneath her video and said this to her. I want to be clear about what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
Once your relationship with him severed, ma'am, so did the relationship with your children.
That's it.
But see, this is why she should be choosy about who she gets in a relationship with, because she comes with baggage.
Yeah.
So you cannot look at somebody else and hold them responsible for your poor decisions. Y'all weird. And if y'all think that that's acceptable to hold somebody else responsible, but women in this day and age do not like to look at themselves and say, hey, I'm fucking up.
No, yeah, it's everybody else. Yeah. Especially when you can blame it on the dude. Yeah.
And I swear women got this bad. Because in this country, you're not allowed to question the quote unquote victim.
Right.
And a lot of the victims be full of shit. And we just got to be honest about it.
We got to be honest with it. And that's why we're in a lot of positions that we're in now.
Because I'm saying the same thing about R. Kelly. So you parents mean to tell me that you left your 13-year-old child in that studio with him? I ain't saying what he did was right.
Right.
But where is your responsibility in the situation?
And most of them had definitely heard the rumors, especially just starting off with the Leah. So it's like, I mean, y'all all knew what this man was allegedly being, what his deal was. You know, what
Time magazine posted the marriage license between him and Aaliyah when we was in high school.
Girl.
I remember reading that in study hall.
Yeah.
Me and Brandy Burrell. I remember that.
Rest in peace, Brandy. Ciao. Listen, when that came out, and what was it? It was either like what, Right On or Word Up, one of the magazines we had. Maybe no, it was Vibe. It was Vibe. Yeah, this was when Vibe was real big.
Yes.
So
they published it.
Yeah, they published it. It was Vibe. Yep, I remember that. And the marriage certificate was right there. And
girl, I'm telling you. So get out of here with that. When a rumor is enough for me to keep my kid away from you.
That's it.
See, y'all be playing Russian roulette with your children too much. Even for this girl with this McDonald's around this boy. You know, you play Russian roulette with your babies too much.
Right. And a lot of people do that, men and women, but it's usually the woman that, you know, is in that position. They do, and I'm just keeping it real because it's what I've seen and it's what's out there. They use the children.
Because what did they tell us? Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Them your babies. You're responsible.
Exactly.
None of them your husband.
None of them.
You ain't made them marry you. I know y'all don't like to talk about that. I know it's a little touchy.
You know,
I know y'all like to tussle, but
you know, but I mean, it is what it is. You know, just gonna have to be out here tussling and rumbling. That's it.
Ain't none of y'all ain't made that man marry you. You ain't made him marry you,
right?
So then this the thing with her. She should not date anymore.
No, focus on your kids.
What's the number? What's the number of children when you say, "No, I'm just gonna raise these kids." I ain't gonna bring nobody else around them. I'm about to just raise these kids.
That's it.
It's got to be a number. Is it a number?
Girl.
I hope it is.
Let me say this. This was back in the 80s, the mid 80s. My mom and stepdad got married in 88. And I did not meet. Now, my mom had other boyfriends and stuff, you know, of course, you know, when I was younger and things like that, because she was never with my father. But she had other boyfriends and things like that. And I saw them, you know, whatever. And they were real nice, whatever, you know, nothing like that. From what I remember, I was 8 years old when my mom and stepdad got married. But I will say this, I didn't meet him because I didn't meet him for at least months after they had been dating. I didn't even know he existed. And of course, I was 7 or 8 years old when I first met him. I probably 7. But I was just like, you know, there has to be a time when you don't just keep bringing all these different men. Or if you're a man, all these different women or whoever you date around your children. Because then they get attached. These kids were used to getting, you know, McDonald's or whatever fast food. They were used to getting fed.
Yeah, they're used to being taken care of.
That's
what should happen. If a man is in your life and he sees you with kids, he should step up and fill the void for those kids.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, when the relationship is severed, he's going to go on. He's going
Right.
to date other people. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
going to have a family, and so should you.
Right.
You just let's think for a second. Think about every person that you broke up with,
Mm-hmm.
and if you were expected to keep a bond with them,
Child.
or with every person in their family,
Mm-mm.
or with every kid that they had.
Mm-hmm.
That's an unrealistic
It's
expectation.
unrealistic. It doesn't happen. I mean, you hear about it, like with families who, still have a bond, like the significant other of the parent still may have a relationship with the child and things like that, but that's because they
Mhm.
were either married or they were together for a long time to where they built
Right,
up that relationship. So that's different. So you can't compare the two.
right.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, obviously, you just flowing through people, and you felt like you had a good one right here, and he's doing things for your kids that you've had by other
Right.
dudes, and I'm in plural, dudes.
Exactly.
So it's
Dude
like,
made that clear.
I mean, made it real clear. So she really thought she was doing
And
something
he
by
was
recording
shocked
him, girl.
because he was
Yeah,
like, "Why are you recording me?" Like he was like,
yeah.
"Here," like he was just like, "Here you go."
Mm-hmm. So like you
Like
said, he had
it
been
was a
doing
normal
this.
occurrence, and he was like, kind of like, "Why are you recording me?"
Yeah, probably when he gets off work, he brings his baby some food.
Talking about, "Oh, cuz I'm about to put you on blast." Who laughed like, "Man, here, like here,
Right.
I'm not about to go through this with you
Like, ain't
here."
nobody playing these games, but it worked. Well, she did work, but it backfired. For the most part, because you do have people that are on her side and everything like that, and that's your business. But you're wrong. We're just gonna put that. I'm just
What do I
saying.
tell people all the time? Don't put your mouth on people.
Right.
Because what she did was she put her mouth on him. She
Mm-hmm.
thought she was getting ready to make a fool out of him, and she made a fool out of herself.
Completely. That's why she had to get on and say something, try and justify it, and you had no justification at
Girl, when I
all.
came across her video and she was like, "Well, it's me," because I was on TikTok and it came down my For You page of
Mm-hmm.
her. And I went to her page. I said, "Oh no, let me comment under this video." And I told her, I said, "I'm praying for you.
That's it. That's all you
I
can
pray,
do.
I pray in the future, you make better decisions, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
praying for you."
Praying for you and them children,
Because
but
I said
mainly
it
for
to her without
you.
an ounce of disrespect. Like,
Yeah.
no, I mean no shade at all. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, if you know me, I don't mean not an ounce of shade or disrespect. But
Mm-hmm.
that right there, what she did, that was foul.
Yeah, that was real foul. And she
And
had
she
that
got to start
planned.
making better decisions for her children. She got too many kids to be playing, honestly.
Right.
So y'all know what a number is too many? I don't know if people know what too many is no
They
more.
don't. They
I don't know.
don't. I don't think
She
they
she got
know.
too many to be
Yeah,
playing. And she
seriously.
got too many baby daddies to be playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's know when to say when, girl. It's just like, because you're just gonna keep having this issue, and obviously you can't keep nobody. Maybe one day you'll look up, but who says that even if you do find your husband, things like that, who says that he's gonna want to take care of these other children?
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, I understand when you get with somebody, and especially like if it does turn into marriage and things like that, you kind of are
Mhm.
expected to take on that responsibility, but
Yeah.
you don't have to.
Yeah, I think I heard a lady say something that's so powerful. It's on the documentary Sisters on the Track.
Mm-hmm.
She has these three track star daughters, and she had a son too. So she actually had a total of four kids. Her son was murdered.
Mm.
And she said, "I'm going to wait until my girls grow up before I get in a relationship." She said, "Because when I get in a relationship, the relationship consumes me.
Mm.
Like I'm all about the person. Like I'm all about my relationship, and I don't want my girls to see me like that."
Right. And that's big because a lot of people can't be alone.
Yeah,
They
and I
just
really thought
can't.
that was an important thing to say
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes we're not honest with ourselves about us.
Right.
Where we need to say, assess how you carry yourself in certain situations
Mm-hmm.
and say to yourself, do I need to move forward or do I need to just wait? Do I need to pause? Do I need to
Mm-hmm.
stop and kind of feel what this feeling feels like?
Yeah.
Do I need to focus on my children? You
and,
know,
and that's huge because I mean her daughters have already lost their brother tragically, and now that she
yeah,
don't want them to lose their mother in this relationship. So I mean
yeah.
that's
So she
big for
said
you to
no.
be able
And
to
her
admit
friend
that.
was trying to encourage her, like, no, you can do it. You can this, you can that. She was like, no. She
Mm,
said,
she knows
no, I
her.
won't.
Yeah, she
She said, I
knows her. Yeah,
refuse.
she knows herself. Yeah,
She
that's
said she
big.
wasn't doing it.
And you could tell, I mean, for what they're saying, that she probably does want a relationship. She wants some
Look, I
companionship,
applaud a
but
mother that's fully mothering.
yes,
Because
yes.
there's a lot of you bitches who ain't.
And and what I've noticed too is
And that's real talk.
it's real talk, because a lot of mothers will put themselves before their children, especially when they get to a certain age. It's just like, okay, I've got you this far. Okay, now you're basically on
Well,
your
you shouldn't
own.
have had them so
I
young,
mean,
like so old.
mm-hmm.
When your kid is 18, that's when you can kind of do your thing. But
Right.
really not even then, because you should be pushing your kid to go to college and
Mm-hmm.
you should be getting them through life at least till they 22.
At least that. Don't just be like, okay, I got my kids out of high school. Now they're basically on their own. No.
Uh, at least give them 22 to 25.
Listen, I am 42 years old, and my mother will still ask me. She's retired, living on a retirement salary, Social Security, all that stuff. And she will still ask me, am I okay? Do I
Mm-hmm.
need something? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's
That's
just like,
Nana. Nana
yeah.
will pick up my prescription from the store sometime.
See what
Like,
I'm
so.
saying? Yeah. So it's like it doesn't stop, and it's not saying that that's the way that it should be, because everyone's different, but it's
Mm-hmm.
like, it shouldn't stop. You shouldn't let your kids know that too, that at a certain age, yeah, you should be doing more on your own. You should be more mature. You should be trying to handle this on your own and everything like that. But still let them know that you're there for them. Don't just be like,
Right.
okay, be gone, because I couldn't imagine that would have happened to me when I turned 18. I couldn't imagine that.
Right.
Oh,
What child? There was a lot
girl,
going on this week.
child. So okay, let's talk about
Uh-uh.
Stacey Dash and BET.
Yeah, go ahead, because I don't know what happened.
Okay, so I don't think that we talked about this, but from the early 2000s, mid 2000s, there was a show on BET called College Hill, where they went to these HBCUs, and they basically, it was almost like the real world for HBCU.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, and I watched, even though I was pretty much out of school, I was still young. I watched it, and everything like that. It was a cute show. And you just got to see different personalities and stuff like that, almost like the real world. Like, I love watching the real world back in the day. This new stuff I can't. But pretty much what happened is they revamped College Hill. I believe it's just on BET Plus. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if it's on regular BET or just BET Plus. Somebody sent me a clip of, I don't know if the first show aired yet or not, but they're revamping the show. They brought it back, but it's with celebrities. So it has these old ass celebrities who are supposed to be going
Right.
back to school, taking classes and things like that. You have Ray J, you have Nene Leakes, you have Big Frida. I can't think of the other ones right off the top of my head, but there are about 6 or 7 different celebrities. And okay, it's a cute idea. And then when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, I might watch this. So first I was
Right.
like, So anyway, one of the people that they didn't show was Stacey Dash's ass.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show her, but she was there. She's one of the cast members. Baby, she got to that house. She walked in that house, and Nene was like, I mean, you know how Nene is. She was not here for it, which she shouldn't be. And I'll get to that in a second.
Right.
Basically, pretty much, she got kicked out the house, pretty much, because
She should have.
yeah, as she should have.
I mean, I don't think Stacey Dash should be included in anything.
Anything.
Didn't I say this a couple weeks ago by Monique? Black people, we got to get comfortable with letting people go.
That's it. I mean,
Ain't got to be no argument. It ain't got to be no harm.
she let us go when she was
Let Stacey Dash go.
yeah, let her go, because she didn't give a damn about us and how she was damaging us and being the token for Fox News all them years.
I understand that she meant a lot to, the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the part that she played.
Right.
But
We get that.
we let Maya, what's her name? The Maya Campbell.
Yeah,
girl
yeah.
We had to let her go.
I
Just let
mean,
her go.
y'all let her go because she's an addict and she got issues. Okay, so
Yeah.
y'all gonna let her go, but y'all gonna bring Stacey Dash's ass back. Look, I'm all getting all jumbled in my words and stuff.
Yeah, like I did see a clip where they were in class and they
Mm-hmm.
were talking about they was in the African American history class and the professor was talking to them and Stacey Dash said she recognized herself as Mexican or like Latino and
Yeah, yeah.
African American or something.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, everybody was looking around like, what?
You're like, girl, stop it.
What is going on?
Since when?
It was just, girl, I knew right
Girl.
there it wasn't gonna work out.
No, it wasn't going to work out, but they got her ass. They gathered her right quick and she bounced out that house.
She needed to leave.
Yeah. So,
I ain't watched 1 minute of it, and I know she didn't need to be there.
no, she didn't need to be there. So, BET. Now, BET, y'all have just completely just showed your ass over the past 10 years or so, and it's just like you've redeemed yourself a couple times with these movies, like the Bobby DeBarge story, the New Edition movie. I'll give that to y'all. Okay, y'all kind of had some things going on for a minute that looked like y'all were coming back, but then y'all came with this BET Plus, and y'all want to put the Martin reunion on there and everything, all this other crap. But screw all that. I'm not subscribing to BET Plus for anything. I'm not doing it. But
oh yeah, I refuse.
Yeah, I refuse. But for the way Stacey Dash used and abused y'all basically all those years, because after Clueless and after the TV show Clueless and everything like that, only things that she would be a part of, these little B-rated movies and everything like that, they were only on BET was the only network that would show them.
Yeah.
She was she turned into a video girl. She was, the it girl, like in the early 2000s, with these music videos and things like that. Right. So those videos were only really being shown on BET. She gets
who's in charge at BET? Is Steve, what's his name?
I think he is now. I don't know how much of
is Deborah still in charge of BET?
Deborah, she still might be there, but I think he's in charge of like the programming and stuff like that.
Oh, listen, Stacey Dash is idolized by men around his age.
Yeah, like, exactly.
And she has connections throughout the business. Like, they ain't gonna let her go.
They ain't gonna let her go. And that part makes sense. The business aspect makes sense.
Yeah.
But she went on, of all places, because we know she was a Fox News girl. She was on there and she said, we don't need BET. We don't need HBCUs. She was basically saying that we don't need BET. So why
because that's what they do.
Yeah.
Her, Candace. So what the Black Republicans stance is trying to be, again, it's like the victim trying to make the victimizer feel comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Their goal is to say racism doesn't exist anymore. We don't need these separate institutions for Black people.
She played her part.
We don't need these separate TV shows just that cater to Black America, because racism is not a thing. Like, that's what whole
what it is.
Mantra is as a Black Republican. Is they use you to be the spokesperson to say, I'm Black and I feel comfortable. I'm Black and I don't feel like I need to watch BET. Like, I don't feel like I need to go to HBCU. I feel accepted at white schools. That's the narrative that they're trying to push.
Right. And like I said, she played her part.
Yeah.
Until she said the wrong thing and they got rid of her ass. And then where's the first place that you run back to? BET.
Absolutely.
So it's just like, it was just like, I was just so fed up with just when
and Black people also, we have this thing where we take you back. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can abuse us, and we'll just take you back,
bring you back with open arms.
We need to learn how to draw a line in the sand for disrespect, that we can still love people, but we can't do it in our personal relationships.
You know how many people that I love from afar?
Yeah.
I can't deal with you on a personal level. I can't deal with you in my life, but I still got mad love for you.
But I don't wish you no harm.
I don't wish you no harm. None. But
we have a problem with that as Black people. Like,
and I just don't. Because white folks will throw your ass away in a second.
And won't think twice about it.
Won't think twice about it. Move on about their business.
I mean, they're family members. How many times have we said we ain't never seen white people's cousins?
Listen.
Where they at? Like, they just
where y'all's family reunions at?
Family just goes away.
Just goes away. Like, I watch, we were talking about this when we talked about Andre Leon Talley a couple weeks ago, but I love watching Finding Your Roots on PBS. And so, I mean, it's Black people too, because there are a lot of things that were hidden, a lot of things, from the family's past that, this kept things quiet, didn't talk about things like my aunt. She does a lot of genealogy stuff, her and some of my cousins, and they're just finding out stuff that's just like, wow, so yeah, it happens with both families. But a lot of these white people have no clue, like none. And it's almost sad But it's just like you said, it's just like when something happens, you just get cut off. And it could be like
Yeah,
from
like, and what do y'all sit around and talk about? Like, what stories do the
exactly.
elders in your family talk
Yeah.
about when you were like white? They don't tell you like,
Because I want to get that knowledge. I would like, well, my grandfather was here. He would tell stories over and over again throughout the years. And it's just like they all
mm-hmm,
stuck inside me. My grandmother tells me stuff, and it's just like, I don't care how many times you tell it to me. I want to hear it. You know what I
yeah.
mean? You
I
get
just
that
asked my grandmother
knowledge.
the other day. It's funny that you said this about speckled peas because I've noticed that people from the South
Mm-hmm.
and from um North Carolina, Virginia, like from the southern states like that, I they're calling black eyed peas speckled peas, and we say black eyed peas.
Yeah.
And I asked my grandmother, I said, "Did y'all used to say black eyed peas or speckled peas?"
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Mother," she said, they call her Ma. She said, "Mother used to say black eyed peas."
Mm-hmm.
She said, "But when she was in the white folks' house cooking for them, she said speckled." She said, "Because they didn't
Oh,
want to eat nothing that said black."
that said black. Even though you had a black person preparing them for you, but okay.
So I had no clue. I said,
I
"Oh,
never heard
that's
of
what she
that.
used to do." I said, "That's what she kind of work she used to do. She used to clean." She said, "Yeah, she cooked and cleaned for the white folks."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Oh, I had no clue. I didn't even know that she worked. I didn't
Right.
know that." But yeah, she told me that. And so
Wow.
you have to talk to the elders, ask them
Yeah.
questions because they got all the stories.
All the stories. And it's just
Mhm.
like, and that's why I think a lot of people don't have appreciation for where they come from and things like that
Yeah.
because
Because you just don't
you
know.
don't know exactly.
Hmm.
Girl, but
You
that's all I
don't
got to
know.
give for probably like if we would have recorded this after I saw that clip and I would have probably had a lot more to say, but that's really about it. It's just like they're using each other at the end of the day now that I have more time to think about it and talk
Yeah,
it
they
out.
are.
Yeah, so but still I'll most likely be watching if it's not on BET Plus. I'll most likely be watching
You can
and
probably always see it on YouTube.
yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, yes, I'm just curious. I'm curious, even though I wish they would do a version that, this
Hmm.
younger generation could identify with. They can't identify with these old ass people
I
trying to go
think
back to
after all the
school.
fights that College Hill used to have, I
Mm-hmm.
think they just now HBCUs have gotten turned off
That's
because
true.
really,
They don't want that reputation with it.
no, we don't. We don't want that
Yeah.
reputation.
Yeah.
I think eventually we're gonna have to talk about P Valley, but not today.
I got to get caught up on the last two episodes. So, yeah, let me do that
Yeah.
this
Oh, so you
weekend.
watch it, so we definitely can talk about it
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
did not
yeah.
watch it, and I really have something to say.
Yeah, I didn't get into it. Was this the second or third season? What I didn't get into it
I
until
think it's
just
the
like
second.
okay, the second. Yeah, cuz I
Mhm.
didn't watch it when it was on. I just got into it this past summer cuz everybody was talking about it.
Oh,
And I
okay.
decided to finally go ahead and get the Stars app and everything. So I was just like, well, let me
Yeah.
get caught up on
I
it.
have the app and I still haven't watched it. I'm
Yeah.
probably not going to watch
And
it. I'm gonna be
honestly, you're
honest.
not really. I mean, I'm just going to keep it real. I know people who love the show are going to get. The first season was good. This season so far from that's why I haven't been worried about watching the last couple
Hmm.
episodes because I'm just like, eh. So since you haven't watched it, I'm not even going to worry about getting caught up on it until I do. So,
Oh yeah, I don't even. I'm not a fan. Like I'm not a fan of the show.
mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about that
Yeah,
another day. But we had a great show,
we had a great show.
and we
Yeah.
hope that you all enjoy listening to the podcast. We'd love for
Yes.
you all to reach out and contact us at girl underscore you know what on Instagram. You can email us at what is the email address?
It's ooh, girl,
But
you
you
know
can get
what
the email
podcast?
address.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the
You
links
can
are
get
on
the
the
email address
page.
off of the Instagram page because there's a
Yeah.
link where you can just hit email and it'll come straight to
Yeah.
our email.
But follow that
You
Instagram page because even though we do post things on
absolutely.
our page, we're gonna start doing more stuff on the Instagram
Yeah, we do
page.
everything on the Instagram page.
Yeah.
And also you can reach Danielle at DannieBSpeaks on Instagram, and you can reach me at Wellness and Women on Instagram. And we hope that you enjoyed this week's show.
Yes, and as always, have a blessed week, and we will hit you all up and spread our knowledge of everything on next week's show.
All right. Take care.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye.